This story begins long, long ago, long before any one person was truly born, and when everything was created. The story you are about to see is told by Ariel, a young angel that's fascinated by life and wants to know what her life means and why she was created. Watch passionate Ariel devote her life to finding her purpose along with her classmates.
It's the first day of sacred preschool.
My name is Ariel, and I am a new soul, created in the land of Sacred Heart. I'm new to the land and curious about what it means to be here and what it all has to offer.
My guardian is Jophiel.
She will help me understand what my duties are as a new soul and give me the guidance and help I need to understand my assignments. I am 4 years old, and of course I am at the age where I will have to go to preschool to prepare me for grade school. I am so excited because I feel like I can meet more souls my age to connect and learn from them. There was a total of 6 souls my age in my preschool class. The first 2 souls I met was Lucifer and his sister Lilith. They appeared to be very smart and had a knowing of things that seem all so new to me. They were an interesting pair that I wanted to know more about. The second 2 souls I met from my class was Gabriel and Angela. They were very quiet souls, but very friendly. I wanted to get to know them too, yet they were so very different from the last 2 I met. The third set of souls I met were Germaine and Chloe. It's safe to say I liked all my classmates, but the one that stood out the most to me was Germaine. I couldn't stop smiling when we talked, but I enjoyed talking to him and was always excited to see him, and I believe the same could be said for him. St. Michael was our preschool instructor, and he tested us daily on different things our soul desired, and how we would apply that later to assignments in the land once old enough to perform them. Germaine and I both replied,
"We are old enough now to perform. We have desires."
We then laughed because we shared the same sentiment and replied at the same time. St. Michael laughed as well and replied,
You two are most definitely Spirit's kids. You have the heart of one.
As we were leaving class, there was a loud blast out in the schoolyard. St. Michael escorted us to the safety shelter for souls our age, but Germaine and I hid behind St. Michael's coat to see what was happening because he ran out to check. There were dark forces that I had never laid eyes on that was destroying the schoolyard. St. Michael discovered us, and he first fussed at us for following him out. And he then gave us protective gear to protect ourselves against all dark forces. We stood up to them and fought with the rest of the angels. We weren't quite angels yet, we had to earn our wings, but we were on our way from that day forward. St. Michael was really impressed with our bravery and called us the gifted ones.
You are the gifted ones, but from now on, follow instructions. Don't ever be disobedient. Again!
And our reply was,
Yes, sir.
we made it through preschool and now we are on to grade school. Grade school was fun, but a little more serious in how we develop our skills. Our instructor was St. Haniel. She taught us all our sensory skills and how to detect what was safe and unsafe in our environment by using all of our senses, and we also learned creativity that was outsourced through Fairyland. Our first lesson was in creativity, and we left off site to learn this in Fairyland. It was a big land, but everyone there was small, and it was beautiful for souls our age. Of course, I have my same classmates from preschool, so it felt like an experience I got to learn and enjoy with family. Our instructor off-site was Mr. Tinker. He made us create things in our mind and bring them to life, and also with our hands. I had the most difficult time with this, while all my other classmates excelled at this. I was starting to get discouraged because I knew that the biggest goal of achievement in the sacred land of hearts was to earn your wings, and the higher up you ranked, the bigger your wings, and the most power of authority you had. At this rate, I would only be a citizen there if I'm unable to accomplish this. Germaine saw how I struggled in class, so he worked with me after class to help me tap into my creativity. I was improving, so hope was restored. Something mysterious happened in Fairyland. One of the days Germaine and I decided to work after class. An unknown dark force appeared, which has never happened before in Fairyland, an attack on the village. Everyone was terrified and was in shock that anything was happening because nothing of this level has ever reached this faraway land. Something dark was among us, but it had to be our own because this world only allows purity in it. Germaine and I got creative in order to protect this land from any more destruction and chaos. We develop a skill that unites our thoughts and action into one to build something bigger. We had been practicing it, but never used it, never realizing we ever would, but nevertheless, glad we did. We casted a spell returning the dark force for which it came, and built a field over the whole land to protect it from anything coming in or going out. Because of our bravery and teamwork and me mastering creativity, we were named honorary members of Fairyland, which I absolutely loved and took great pride in. I was a young soul and mastered something that seemed to be an obstacle for me, and testing my abilities became something I was honored for. It couldn't get much better than that, and it restored my hope to get my wings. Although I mastered the skill of creativity in Fairyland, in the sacred land of hearts, I needed to master perception and intuition. Mastering these skills came a bit easier for me after using my skills of creativity, and I'm glad we took those classes first. It meant everything to me to exceed my goals and finish grade school on top, because the top 3 students, upon being promoted, would receive their very own unicorn that were mystical creatures from Fairyland they sent to help in our magical abilities before reaching middle school. It helps enhance our skills with animals and creatures and increases our intuition. I wanted that so bad and worked extremely hard to get it. We were approaching the end of the school year, and I was excited to find out if I was one of the top 3 students to receive a unicorn for my hard work and efforts and be at the top of my class. A day my classmates and I decided to walk to school together. We discussed who would receive a unicorn and who the top 3 may be upon completion. And I noticed a flower that was withering, which never happens in the sacred land of hearts. Something wasn't right. I could feel it, so we all investigated it. I carry magic dust with me since I am an honorary member of Fairyland, and I sprinkled it in the air and spoke.
Reveal to me the unseen, that I cannot see, that happened before we arrived.
I saw a dark force sprinkle something that is harmful to plants and living things, use something from a bottle they kept on them to destroy all that is good. I casted a spell to remove the poison and bring life to that was withered. We finally got to school, and all my classmates share with St. Haniel that she would have been proud to see us use the perceptions we learned in class from her just on our way to school.
You would have been really proud to know how well we have been listening in class because we used what you taught us in class just on the way to school this morning. Yeah, we were paying attention to our surroundings.
We noticed a flower that was dying, which never should happen in our land.
We worked really good together in noticing things that should not be.
It was amazing to watch, and finding a solution was even better.
Not only did we notice the flower dying, but we saw who did it with Ariel's dust magic.
I see you all have had an eventful morning.
I'm actually more concerned about what I saw in my vision. Why would anyone want to poison our land? And why does darkness come to a land that's never seen it?
I understand your concern, Ariel, but remember, our land is sacred and anything that happens here is always for a
reason.
She was excited to hear how well they worked together, so she decided to do something she never did for a class before. Because we worked together, and she knew we understood everything that was taught in her class, she decides to do something extra special for our class.
I'm awarding you all a unicorn. I've never done that for a class before, but you all work very flawlessly together and are very gifted.
Thank you, St. Haniel! I'm so excited!
Somehow, I felt St. Haniel was responsible for what we saw in my vision on our way to school, and that some other light being close to our land was responsible for what happened in Fairyland, but I could not prove it. It just seemed as if my classmates and I am tested every time we close to finishing up and completing our courses. It may all be a test from spirit, but we may or may not ever know. We all grew in height, and we were much cuter and a lot more excited about beginning school now to show off our knowledge and skills that we learned from previous years, and the activities we did with our unicorns during school break. I didn't get to spend much time with many of my classmates during our break from school, so I was excited to see them and start over again. I spent a lot of my time in advanced studies in Fairyland to learn alchemy, so I didn't get to do a lot of fun activities during our time apart. It always seemed like more fun times when we were in school, anyway. The first soul I came across on my path to school was Germaine. He lived the closest to me, so we walked to school together. He told me what he planned to do in school this current school year, and what he learned when we were out of school in his downtime during school break.
I spent a lot of my time in advanced studies in Fairyland to learn alchemy and worked in the community, and I plan to advance even more during the school year.
How is it our paths never crossed on our way to Fairyland? I did the same thing over the break.
Seems we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
We did the exact same thing, yet I never ran into him during the time we were on our way to Fairyland or even while we were there. We were both driven and focused, that we didn't see each other or crossed paths during the entire time of traveling there with our unicorns, and it may be partly because we transported there in a blink. Either way, it was really nice to see him. We ran into Gabriel, Angela, and Chloe on the way to school, too. They all talked about everything they learned over the break and how they were learning healing work, which is something I know we will all be learning next.
I'm excited that we will be working on healing work this school year. I touched on a little of it over the break, and I really enjoyed it.
That's really exciting, Chloe. I worked in the community and took a few meditation classes over the break, and I can't wait to learn something new.
And a few of my classmates have already experienced it all, everything we were about to learn. I was really excited to be in a class of souls that were equally ambitious as I was, because they truly were my inspiration. We didn't see Lucifer or Lilith yet on the way in, but I know whatever they did during the break was as magnificent, and that they were equally ambitious. One of our instructors was a previous instructor we had that was promoted to an archangel, which is really high level. Archangel Haniel is our instructor, and she will be working with us on healing with our hearts and minds.
Good morning, class. We will be covering healing work and using our mind this school year that takes a lot of time and patience.
And our other instructor is Archangel Ariel.
Good morning, everyone. For those that don't know me, I am Archangel Ariel, and I will be teaching you all the history of our land and how to guide others.
He will teach us how to guide others that will make us great leaders in our world, and also the history of the land, and really how to adapt if we ever have to face adversity. I realized that the fun times we had in school prior to starting on this day meant we really needed to focus, and that it may be fun, but not like before. We were maturing, and we most definitely will be mature after this school season was over, but I was ready. We were ready. This was the school season that the talk about the Wheel of Fortune was spoken the most. We always passed it on our way to some of our off-site assignments, but never grasped what it meant, other than it was beautiful and huge. It said that once we reach high school at its completion, we would have to spin the Wheel of Fortune or Wheel of Destiny to decide our paths as older souls. If our path wasn't chosen before then, many souls didn't want to be told what their destiny was. They wanted to make up their own mind about the path they wanted to take. I didn't quite have a viewpoint on it yet, but I knew at some point I would. Then I would release the thought. This school season was very challenging and rewarding at the same time, and the time was coming up for review and the big exam. We didn't get an exam in previous school seasons, but oftentimes felt as we did because something always seemed to happen. This time we are going to the Sacred Heart Hospital to help do healing, work on the older souls and the recently injured during physical outside work, to do our exams for healing, and we will be quizzed on the history of the land after completion of the active exam. I always felt like I needed to work harder than my other classmates to reach where they were already, and deep down, I felt like other souls knew it too. Everyone did well on their exam, but when my turn came to perform, there was something different about the soul I was trying to heal. Their energy was dark, and I felt like it was trying to absorb my energy. I immediately informed my instructor by astro projecting so that she could intervene, and also my classmates. It was a bitter fight, but we defeated it collectively as a class. I lost a bit of my strength from the absorbent of my energy, but my instructor healed me. I waited a while and took the healing exam again to be graded fairly with my classmates, and I passed with flying colors, both my history exam and healing exam. As Ariel left school excited from passing her exams, she crossed paths with an unfamiliar face in the sacred land of Hearts. She got a bad feeling when they passed each other, almost the same feeling she had in that hospital room that day she took her exams. But the thought was released from her mind almost immediately after she got it. She thought, this young girl couldn't be causing the chaos that's disrupted the whole land. I was now ready to enter as a seasoned soul for high school, along with all my classmates. I was excited for this new phase and couldn't wait to see what joy it would bring. My classmates and I decided to spend the break we have before high school begins, to get ahead of our studies and practice our gifts together to get stronger. It's now the first day of Sacred Heart High School. The moment you walk in is intimidating. The school is huge and finding your way around is a chore in itself, but luckily for my classmates and me, we knew our way around because we took the tour of the building before the school year began. Over a period of time while school was out, I would often come to the school and watch the choir perform. They sang so beautifully that I decided I wanted to be a part of it, and so did the rest of my classmates. You could only be in extracurricular activities once you reached high school. It wasn't available as younger souls due to certain developments we needed to do first. We learned meditation, prayer, and devotion in high school. Younger souls get distracted easily, so of course, everything we are learning in high school held off until we were able to develop these skills by being focused on meditation, which is similar to some things we have learned previously. We studied meditation from Archangel Uriel. He taught at the middle school and the high school. The best part of high school was being able to do the extracurricular activities in between classes and after school. Lucifer loved being in the choir as much as I did. He was able to do solos and was even known for his wonderful angelic voice among the land. He was good at everything, all the way through school. School would be a bit boring if other activities weren't available to us, because we spent a lot of time in solitude, and singing brought out our creativity along with our playful side. We also had a performing arts program, and we oftentimes got a chance to draw what we wanted to bring life to, literally off the page. There were different forms of art, so you decided what you preferred. I was starting to understand the chatter from middle school other souls and angels were having about doing something they wanted to do, but I also know we were to be obedient to Spirit and trust His plan for each of us. I was conflicted in my energy, but I continued learning and enjoying what I've learned, and also enjoying playtime to unwind a bit after a full day of meditation. I often felt more energized after we did it, and so did my classmates. Angela and Gabriel enjoyed meditation the most and were masteries at it. They were very gifted. My whole class was, but I still felt as if I hadn't really found my niche. High school was different at the end of the school season. If you were a lower level soul, you had no wings at all. The higher level souls had wings, but small and invisible to the eye, but very much presented. Other souls were awarded and promoted for their high level of achievement and got their angel wings. Some went on to be archangels, like a few of my instructors, so I learned from the best. But it wasn't enough for me to get awarded. I did walk away from high school with my very own horse, Black Stag, that had angel wings, but I still had to spin the wheel of destiny to decide what my future would hold. All high-level souls and below had to spin that wheel. Chloe and I were the only ones from my class that had to spin the wheel. Even Germaine had become Saint Germain with his artistry, and on his special assignment with Saint Michael, that's now Archangel Michael, he was promoted and got bigger wings. Lucifer and Lilith got their wings and have started working at the courthouse. And so did Angela and Gabriel for their gift in meditation. The day arrived when I had to spin the wheel. When I spin the wheel, it said,
have patience and learn more about the law of the land and protect this sacred land. And
it wasn't what I expected to see or hear on the wheel, but worth me exploring. I can relate to protecting others, but I never considered law. so of course I'll be obedient and protect this sacred land.
Higher Learning School was where a lot of us came to study everything related to whatever we spinned on the wheel, related to the field of study, in which mine was having patience and learning the lore of this land. It's where you come to get the fundamentals and deep dive more into what makes it happen. My old classmates Gabriel and Angela taught this class. They were the most patient souls I had ever encountered and were perfect for my instructors. Archangel Michael taught the law classes. He was the head of the war department and taught training classes as well. I was excited about working with him again. I was such a small soul when we first encountered each other. And to actually be taught by an instructor that was once at the level I am and is now an archangel with his own division, which was very inspiring for me to take what I learn here and use it proudly every day. The classes taught to me by former classmates, Gabriel and Angela, were the hardest for me because my thoughts weren't staying focused enough to manifest things with my mind. Since we were former classmates, they worked with me after class to help me achieve being patient in my thoughts and having more precise thoughts. I was very grateful for them, and I was able to achieve patience by the time I was done at the school for higher learning. Working with Archangel Michael was totally different because there were so many moving parts on the field, and we learnt in the classroom as well. I was used to having my classmates from childhood with me, but this time it's just Chloe and me. I would see her occasionally as we walked to classes or flew into school with our horses, but our assignments and learning were different. Chloe and I were the only ones from our former class to receive a horse, but your horse chooses you. We don't choose it. My horse was black, and most of the other horses in the land were white. So for the only one in the land that's black chose me, said to me that we are both one of a kind. I'm very attached to Black Stag, and there is a small piece of me that doesn't want to get larger wings because of the love I have for him. Getting my wings would mean releasing him for another soul to share and use for their time of need. I know the feeling because I need him. I learned to have patience and let go of the idea of holding on to Black Stag because someone else will need him like I did and like I do. And he will protect a new soul, just like he did for me. There were several incidents on my way to school and even on the way home that I hurt myself by accident, and he was there as an aid and help and heal me. It seemed as if I learned more about myself during the time I was in higher learning school. It taught me to take the high road as well. Archangel Michael. Attack, timing, formation tests. If we weren't in shape when we started, we were by the end of the school season. The time was approaching, finally and patiently, for me to complete Higher Learning Academy. At the end of graduation, Archangel Michael will be selecting 6 of his top students to work with him and train with him on his army and develop their skills even further to serve in the sacred land of Hart's army. Intense training prepares you for the unknown, if the time ever arrives. I prefer not to be confrontational, but when being approached with it, his techniques work flawlessly and effectively so far, and I plan to use them if I ever have to. It was time to showcase my skills in field. The last 6 standing would be selected. This test was the longest test to take in the field, and the hardest because there were a lot of us. But it would prove that I am worthy of earning bigger wings in the end, and that's all I could think about. I also couldn't get that formation and all the strategic plans we made during class out of my head. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that day in high school that I had to spin the wheel of destiny. After hours and hours on the field, we finally had the top 6, and I was a part of it. Hard work paid off. Upon completion, The top 6 received their signed and sworn paperwork to begin working with Archangel Michael, along with their completion paperwork. I was excited because I was one of the 6. I haven't received my bigger wings yet, but well on my way with patience, and I still had my black stag for a little while longer, so I was overjoyed. It is the first day of work, and I'm excited because I have completed basic school knowledge to perform real soul duties in the sacred land of Hart. I didn't realize that I would have to work so closely with souls that lived in the town who were just everyday citizens. Part of my job included working directly under Archangel Michael's orders in battle and in the town. It was so quiet in the town sometimes that it made my job a bit boring. I would oftentimes ask for extra training with Archangel Michael when he was free to do so during our downtime to keep my skills fresh because I wasn't using them as often. Most of my job, when not in the town, required me to spend a lot of time at the courthouse, where the highest and last judge you wanted to see was Spirit. If you were going up against judgment against Spirit, you did the highest crime of any soul in the land. We had a few other judges, but they only look into lower level crimes, and the punishment and sentencing were a lot less harsh. The first week of my new job duties, I ran across former classmates Lucifer and Lilith. They both worked in the area where souls that were punished were held. They oversaw them and made sure they didn't try to escape and that they finished their sentence. I wasn't surprised that this was their duty because they were good souls and even better angels. I realized after seeing so many souls behind bars that the town wasn't as pure as I thought, and that my job was much needed to keep it safe. Many good angels were kicked out of the sacred land of Hearts for being disobedient, and why Archangel Michael had us work so hard in the first place, because anything can happen with the angels. Their strength is unmatched sometimes. The experience the first week with Archangel Michael made me realize that there were still many things I have not learned about law, so I decided to go to law school to represent those souls behind bars that cannot speak for themselves. I enrolled in law school the same day I decided I wanted to. It took a little time for my enrollment because I had to be in my job duty for a certain period of time before I could apply for more schooling. But that was okay. I still had to do my current duties along with what I was signing up to do. Many of the souls that were behind bars really were in there for no reason at all, and I knew after speaking with a few that I needed to go in and speak on their behalf to make sure they weren't being punished for someone else's crime. A few of them were in there because they decided not to spin the wheel of fortune or the wheel of destiny. They wanted to live their lives carefree and decide their own fate, and some actually did commit a crime, bringing harm to others. Listening to them speak of why they were even in there in the first place motivated me even more to become a lawmaker and try to enforce new laws that would prevent innocent souls from being behind bars. It took a while, but I was finally enrolled in law school. I learned everything there was to know about being in the field. Now I wanted to be of service to those in the courtroom. Law school took a while to complete, but so worth it to do. Every chance I got, I pleaded with Spirit to consider changing some of the laws in the land. In some cases, he took in my consideration, and in others, it was a flat-out no.
Absolutely not! The rules that are in place are to protect everyone, and I will not put all my souls at risk to protect just one soul or a few.
The rules are the rules, and some I will consider for you, my child.
I understand, Spirit.
I haven't finished school yet, but my ambitious nature intimidated all the other law enforcement. I could feel the evil eye of many in the sacred land of Hearts, because some of my efforts have improved the law system, something many of them have tried to do for some time but were unable to succeed. Given the evil eye gave me more fuel for my fire and motivated me to go harder at what I was doing, because it means it's working. The time was drawing near where I about to complete law school, which is long overdue. Working with Archangel Michael and going to law school all at the same time took a lot of effort and hard work, but I am so glad I did it. I now have to take the bar exam to be accepted as an attorney at law. Preparing for this exam was harder than any exam I have ever taken in any of the schools I attended. Many are hoping I fail the exam so that I would not practice law or give up hope on souls I worked so hard to save from being behind bars. Some have even said to me that I hope you fail that exam. Pass or fail, I can always take until I pass. So all they did was fuel my fire yet again to move forward in a way that would help others. Archangel Michael stopped me on my way in to talk to me right before I took the bar exam. He asked,
"Do you remember how you felt before and after you spin the wheel on the Wheel of Fortune? And what it led to you doing right now? Some things you may not understand right in the moment, but it will make sense to you later. No one knows you better than the Creator himself, and what's best for you. Always remember that."
My reply to him was,
I do remember, and I was just thinking the same thing. Thank you.
My former classmate from grade school all showed up to support me and encourage me to do well. They all prayed for me at the temple the day before, and I also prayed at the temple for myself. The amount of love shown to me the day I took my exam was far more rewarding to me than anyone could truly know, and I went in there that day, took that exam, and passed it with flying colors.
Now that's what I'm talking about!
Ariel, I would like to have a word with you.
What is it, Lucifer?
I know that you have been working with Spirit on getting some of the laws around here changed, but I gotta do something now.
Wait a minute, Lou! What are you about to do?
I'm about to start a war. Just stay back. You've been warned.
What are you really planning, Lou? After I passed my bar exam, I noticed a difference in the community and how they responded to each other. I decided to go to the temple and speak with the priest, Most High, and asked him to pray with me and meditate with me to unite the land of Sacred Hearts.
We may have a problem, priest. I recently spoke to Lucifer, and he told me that he is about to start a war. We need to protect our citizens. Lucifer is very powerful, and he can wipe out this land.
You've come to the right place, Ariel. I'll contact Archangel Michael immediately.
There was a major divide among us that was starting to get out of control. Souls were starting to form rebellious acts all around, and even some of the law enforcements were involved, and it made it much more difficult to hiding behind the scenes, encouraging bad behavior. It had gotten to the point where you couldn't trust anyone, and you had to only rely on intuition. The acts had gotten so bad in the city that Archangel Michael, Priest Most High, and me decided to protect the citizens of the land by moving them into a much safer environment, small groups at a time, to keep them all from getting hurt. Darkness had invaded our land, and now... The time was drawing near that all the training I had done previously with Archangel Michael would have to be used. Souls were protesting to have free will at the way they wanted to live professionally in the land of Sacred Hearts. And even some of the angels promoted wanted to do something totally different. All of those options were something our land provided without the divide. But some took more time than others, and Spirit always knew our greatest desires way before we ever did.
I never thought I'd see the day that my land would be turned upside down like this. I was prepared for it, but I wasn't hoping I would need to be.
But yet, everyone's perception was different, and some didn't want to put in the work or the time, so instead, a great war began. I never thought I would ever see the day that a war would break out in such a sacred land, the place that's been so good to me. my homeland, and now being destroyed in the blink of an eye by angels and souls. I was really surprised that 2 of my classmates, top students of the class, Lucifer and Lilith, were involved. They released all the dark forces in the underworld in our land and fought against me instead of with me this time. I guess Spirit always knew this day would come because of the way he had us trained. I hadn't received my wings like my other classmates, but I fought this war just as hard. My heart was in pieces at the time I fought because I lost comrades to the other side, and my home was being destroyed.
I thought I told you to stay out of this, Ariel!
I am a protector of this land. It's my job to take down a threat, including you! You will never be able to take us down! It's 2 against 1! Give it up, Ariel! You can never beat me!
I will never give up! I fight for what's right, even if I have to take you down!
All I could think was that all the work I did to protect souls in the courtroom were for nothing if I had to end up fighting on the battlefield anyway. Angels had fallen from grace, and so did souls when this fight was over and done with. I gave everything I had in this war. Germaine and I teamed up. Along with Archangel Michael for that final blow. When we were done, all the angels that fell to the earth destroyed it as they fell. All the angels that were destroyed during this battle were only badly wounded but could not be destroyed. Their evil souls lurked the earth, and they were bound by Spirit to do as he ordered. Lucifer and Lilith's punishment was to be responsible for the underworld.
Since you like lurking around in the underworld, your new duties will include guarding it.
That was the job no one wanted, but 2 of my best classmates' souls were ordered to do so, whether they wanted to or not. Their souls showed Spirit that the underworld is where they wanted to spend eternity, and my heart was hurt by it, hurt by all of it.
I'm sorry, Lilith. This wasn't how my plan was supposed to go.
I hope you have a plan to get us out of this. It's high time I start following my own mind.
When I took my last blow, I fell to the ground and was out for a while. Gabriel and Angela worked on me until I finally opened my eyes, and that's when I learned of everything that happened. All I could think of next is now what? What can I do? When I finally came to my strength, I decided to help with the cleanup efforts in the land of Sacred Hearts. Time passed and things were coming along well. Spirit was working on a really big project that I wanted to know more about because it could possibly be something I would take interest in. Germaine, Gabriel, and Angela wanted to know too. Chloe decided she wanted to finish what she was working on before the war started, so she didn't want to take part in it. I felt like she probably was trying to keep busy to forget about Lucifer. They were an item for a while, and now that he is responsible for the underworld, they can no longer be. My heart went out to her, and I wished her well on her endeavors.
Sending you all the best wishes, Chloe.
We all did. It was a big project Spirit was working on, so no one really knew what was happening, other than Priest Most High and Archangel Michael. The project was complete, and Archangel Michael and Priest Most High told all of us about it.
Spirit is asking for volunteers to become human, but still have
their abilities as angels and souls to live as they would in the land of Sacred Hearts.
Do you think this is something you want to do?
I do. I know that I just passed the bar and can practice law, but after what just happened not long ago, I think my services can be used better outside the land. Plus, I'm up for a challenge.
I'll be very frank with you. All the souls that agreed to do this assignment have been promoted to a larger set of wings with more power that would help them navigate.
In the dense land you will be going, it will be harder for you to remember who you are and your abilities.
I can do this! I want to do this!
All right!
what was left of my class from preschool onwards, are all wanting to volunteer, including myself. Archangel Michael shared that we were specifically grouped together and that he would tell us why later. I'm the only one from my class that never got promoted to a bigger set of wings, and because of that, I was likely not remember much about my life before migrating to Earth. The vibrational level changes and is much denser, so I would have to work 10 times harder to obtain my gifts and use them properly. Archangel Michael then asked, again,
"You sure you don't want to get your wings first before volunteering for this assignment?"
My reply was,
I can do this, and I can never forget who I truly am.
and so we proceeded. Priest Most High wanted to send us off as couples in union, as our soul names and earth names. We had to change our sacred names to an earthly one, and we would be assigned to multiple assignments at once in different dimensions. It was part of our contract and assignment, which made this assignment even more challenging. We will become Germaine and Ashley Starr in the 7th dimension. Gabriel and Angela will become Gary and Kayla Hermit in the same dimension. We were about to set out, but before we did, we said goodbye to the land, and I said goodbye to Black Stag. I never got a chance to release him from me because I haven't gotten my wings, but I asked him to.
Protect this land as I would, until I return.
We both shed some tears and walked away. We left with only the resources we would need to start a life and a family. We were all on to our new journey.
Check out upcoming scenes for Soul Family 6, the Epic Series. Series 2, The Land of Tarek.
This land is really spacious, and I think we should build on this land. What do y'all think?
I think that this is a good place to build a home too.
I totally agree. We have a lot of land to work with.
Looks like we found our home.
Can you reveal to me the unseen that was seen in a previous time and space to protect my land, our land?
And you shall see, my child.
Do you mind giving Aries an extra boost of your healing energy?
You don't even have to ask. I'm already on it.
I really want Aries at his full strength again.
You don't have to worry, honey. We're on it.
Lilith, I know you are out there, and when our paths cross, there will be a debt to pay for all the destruction you caused my family, you and Lucifer both.
It may be an ambush to reach others in power and leadership by going out this late to look for him. It will be best to look during daylight and put a plan together.
Then.
They are treading into dangerous territories, and they don't know what they are up against. We must hurry!
Everyone, please refrain from using water in any form until we can get everything tested. There has been some sort of contamination with our water supply, and we want you all to stay safe.
What do you think Uranus would do in a situation like this?
He'll create something out of nothing, I guess. Our powers are useless here.
We will find you and destroy you and your whole family once we discover where you really are.
We are giving it every effort to ensure everyone is comfortable, and we hope to give you all peace of mind.
And that you have everything you need for safety and protection through this land.
But nothing can replace a loss of a child.
Try your best to live your life as if Aries was still here. That is what he would want us all to do.
Don't give up hope!